Hello everyone, this is my first inquiry video and now I have changed my inquiry question. I will be talking about how do I teach the piano and music literacy to children. So welcome to my piano studio, and today we are going to talk about the first lesson with a child. So at the first lesson, the important thing to do first is develop a relationship and trust with the child. So when they come in, I usually spend a couple of minutes just asking about who they are and what they like, if they have any siblings or any pets, and let them talk about what they want to tell me as well. And then we start talking about what kinds of music they like, which also gives me ideas about what music to look for and get for my studio as well. So the next thing that we start talking about, and just very briefly, is about things like how to sit at the piano and posture. Sit straight and try with your feet on the ground, or straight at least, and making sure that you aren't super close to the piano. I call these dinosaur arms. You don't want dinosaur arms. You want to be comfortable at the piano. Then we start talking about hands. So I talk about pretending that you are holding a ball like this, so your fingers get really curved, and then you turn it around and you place it on the keyboard. So we want really nice round fingers, just like we're holding an orange or a ball, or opening a doorknob is another way to describe it. And use those descriptions to help kids remember, I think is very helpful. The third thing that we talk about is relaxation. So they think that this is so funny when you just kind of like wiggle everything out and just like kind of rag doll. You want your arms to be like a rag doll, so that you would just do that. So those types of exercises. I don't spend a lot of time on that because I find that kids are just very fidgety, and I try and gently remind them at each lesson these things, but I try not to focus on it too much. So most young kids just want to start playing the piano. So I start asking them, well, where are the low sounds on the piano? And then they'll play these sounds. It sounds like a grumbly truck, or just creating visuals like that helps to associate the sound. And then where are the high sounds on the keyboards? So they'll play these keys. It sounds like birds in the trees, and that kind of stuff. So after they figure out on which side of the keyboards the low sounds and the high sounds are on, we start talking about fingering and our hands and the tools that we use to play. So what I like to do as an exercise is I'll trace their hands on a piece of paper like this, and we will write down which one is their left hand and which one is their right hand. And I'll ask them questions like, well, what hand would you play the low sounds with? And they're pretty good at figuring out you want to play it with the hand that's closest to the low sound, so our left hand. And what hands would you play the high sounds with our right hand, because it's closer. And then we number off our fingers. So in piano, our thumbs are number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our pinkies are number 5. And then I'll get them to color this in if they'd like to. I've seen some really very cool colorings. some of their fingers are like different colors. It's fascinating to me to see that. And some kids don't want to color it in at all. So we just go with it. Okay, so then I start getting into noticing patterns on the keyboard. I'll ask them questions like, what colors are the keys? So they'll tell me black and white. And then I'll ask them, well, do you notice that the black keys come in groups? So they come in groups of 2, and then a group of 3. Sorry. In groups of 3. So once they see that, I'll ask them to play all of the groups of 2 black keys on the keyboard. And then I'll get them to do the same with the groups of 3 black keys on the keyboard. So what I've noticed is this really parallels the math curriculum competencies in kindergarten. So for patterning, it tells us that repeating patterns with 2 or 3 elements is what kindergartners need to know for math. And I feel like this is very similar. So FYI, if you're thinking about patterning, incorporate music and the keyboard into your lessons. So from there, I can give them their first couple of pieces before they leave for the day. So this is Piano Adventures by Nancy and Randall Faber. And this is the music book that I use for my beginning students. I like it because it's it's colorful, and it comes with duets for teachers to play, so they start to collaborate and play together with somebody really early, which I think is awesome. Okay, so here's an example, 2 black ants. It shows you in the picture here that we're going to use fingers 2 and 3. So I call these our peace fingers. Get your peace fingers ready on the black keys. And then the pattern tells you to start in the middle of the piano. Then you play, this is with our left hand. Then we play fingers 2, 3, and when they're in the box, you play them at the same time. Then you move down to the next 2 black keys, lower, and do the same. 2, 3, together, lower. 2, 3, together, lower. 2, 3, together, done. And that's our first piece. Basically, we play it together once and they've got it. So then the next piece is 2 blackbirds, which is the same thing, but with our right hand peace fingers. And we're going up to the high sounds. So we start at the middle of the keyboard. 2, 3, together, up. 2, 3, together, up. 2, 3, together, up. 2, 3, together, done. So already by the end of their first lesson, I'm sending them home with something to play. On the next couple of pages, it's the same thing, but with the 3 black keys, left hand. 3 little kittens, the 3 black keys with the right hand. With 1 pattern change at the end, instead of playing them 2, 3, 4, it's just a block of 4. So I'm going to leave it there for our first lesson on how to teach kids piano and music literacy. Thanks for watching.